insane. Like that's what we want to make the episode about. We want to talk about how do you balance studying and going bodybuilding and eating well every single day, and as well as preparing for a show. That on its own is very hard to believe for a student to be able to do that. So you want to share some advice on how you get to balance such two things that are really hard?
To be honest with you, my advice will be very, very horrible because I never did two things at once. When I was competing, I wasn't dealing much with school or university. When I was at university, I wasn't dealing much with competing. So my best suggestion really would be to try and actually isolate the two, because you don't want issues of waking up at a certain time or dealing with stress from university to interfere with training if you really want to take things seriously. But obviously, it also depends on your level. If you're someone that's just competing for the first few times, you got much bigger things than just stress to deal with, building a physique that can do decent on stage. I competed at my first time. I was 16. I was in
Mm,
10th grade. I didn't really care about school at the time, to be honest. So that's how I went on stage.
mm.
I was skipping first two periods, just going and doing fasted cardio in the mornings. So I didn't really care much. I used to like
That's
leave
it.
class and go and eat meals.
So, tell us, how much time do you dedicate for like preparing for a show? So let's talk about preparing for a show, not your off season. So when you're preparing for a show, how much time do you dedicate for that?
So this is actually a good question, because I think there is a lot of gray area when it comes to actually talking about getting ready truly for a show. In the beginning, if you would have asked me this question when I was younger, at around 16, 17, I would have said, oh, you can do like a quick cut, like somewhere around 12, 16, 20 weeks is like a lot of time. But now, as I've gotten older and, I've turned people professional, I've turned myself pro. I didn't turn myself pro. I mean, I was under coach, but the more I learned, the more I realized you need a completely very, very, very long phase into real true competing. So now, like, if you would have asked me now, I would probably dedicate at least a whole year to 2 years getting ready for a show.
Wow, that
Yeah.
that is a lot of time as well. Let's talk about day to day. Like, does it take up the whole day to be able to maintain the focus for with your training and eating for the show, or can you balance
Uh,
it with doing other things during your day?
I think you can definitely balance it. Usually, the guys that are more successful in the sport are guys that have freedom but are also somewhat busy. Like, if you look at
Mm,
someone like Ronnie Coleman, this guy was a police officer at the time, from what I believe, and
yeah,
but to be honest, it never seemed like he was under stress from his job. From everything we
yeah,
say, obviously, I don't know Ronnie Coleman personally, but it never seemed like he was under, like, crap, I have to, like, go do my job. And like for me as well, I mean, all I really did during the time was I had the job of coaching, and
mm,
coaching is, yes, it can be stressful at times, but I'm very blessed that I have always set my coaching standards to a very high level. That the people that I tend to work with are people that really take this very, very seriously. So
mm.
my stress levels from that is very low. I absolutely, I'm very blessed with the people that I'm surrounded by in my job. So that part is completely out for me. But yeah, I think dedication time. I think as long as you're not too busy, so you can't do your thing, and also if you're not too unbusy, so that you just run yourself crazy, because you get a lot of free time, and
Mm.
usually with the preps that you're busy usually go a little bit better.
Yeah. So it's like you have a routine. You can build a routine when
Yeah.
you have something to revolve around. You have a routine every day, and I completely understand that. I think I can agree with you on this. But I think with the student, it's much harder because you go to
Yeah.
uni and you come back and you need to study, like, continue studying.
Yeah.
Unlike a job, you go to the job, you come back, you finish the job, like, you're done. After
Yeah.
5, you have nothing to do.
Like, to be honest with you, whenever I was during high school, I didn't really care at all
Mm,
about studying. Like, I didn't give a
mm.
shit at all, to be honest. My bad. I don't know if I can swear on the call, but
No, no, no,
I
it's
didn't
fine. It's
really
fine.
care.
No, no. Oh, really,
I
bro?
didn't really care about it at all. The only thing I did IB at the time, so I did very high
Mm,
level sports science. I did high level sports science, and I got a 6 out of 7 in IB in sports science, which is
that's
a very very
amazing.
good grade. But to be honest, I barely. I think I studied once. I studied once in the whole IB, and that was
Wow.
just at the very end where I just reviewed my thingies. What do you call it? My notes and everything. Like, I just revised. I didn't really study because the good thing about the job in sports science is that yes, I wasn't studying, but I was literally living that life of sports science. So I was
Hmm.
literally, going in, doing data on cardiovascular health, or I'm checking people's cardiovascular health. I'm checking people's blood markers. I'm checking people's blood
It's
pressure. All
amazing.
of these things are literally what I'm studying. So I had the real life application of it. So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't really care much about it. But now that I'm studying in university, I can see the workload climbing up a little bit. I still haven't studied, by the way. I've been in uni for a little bit of time now. I still haven't like tried to study once. I just try my best to pay attention in class, and I tend to do well. If there's
Very
something,
good.
obviously, I know there's going to be a common time where I actually have to sit down and study. I know it, but
Mm,
if I'm doing fine and I'm learning, I think that's fine. I
mm.
don't think studying is about memorizing books. It's about application. If you can apply it really
That's
truly,
100% true.
I think that's the
Yes,
main purpose of it.
100% true. Yeah.